So, Formula One, 2020-26 season. All the talk, all the hype, all everything will come to an end. All the BS will come to an end when the lights go out in Australia on Sunday. I really, really can't wait for it. Obviously, this is the first video I make on F1 football F1 show since a long time. I think since Abu Dhabi, because after that I've made some videos on F1, but it was F1 podcast with obviously my friend Muhammad, and we've been talking about the testing in Barcelona, the testing in Bahrain, and looking at the teams who can be very good, who can be the flop. Listen, this is a new territory of a season, new regulation change, probably the biggest regulation change in Formula One history, maybe except 2014. It's very difficult to say. Not only that teams have to adapt well to the regulations, the drivers have to adapt well to the regulations. Obviously, not many drivers. They expect their frustrations and dissatisfaction about the regulation change in the media, the likes of Piastri, Verstappen, I think Leclerc as well. Hamilton was saying that it was the lowest grip he's ever felt in 20 years. So there was even being Norris as well. Lando Norris was also talking about F1 car being like an F2 car, and also questions about the race starts as well. It can be chaotic. So yeah, I mean, and also when you try to overtake. Leclerc I think he said that overtaking will be difficult in this kind of regulations, because if you try to overtake, your battery will go. There was a clip where Hajar was trying to overtake Bottas, and he struggled to overtake him, and the battery just went. So yeah, I mean, it could be a very chaotic season in terms of the driving, the results. Who knows? It's very, very difficult to say what's going to happen, especially with the new season. It's very difficult to say, and I'm looking forward to how this upcoming race in Australia is going to go about, because obviously not only is the first race of the season, also we all know Australia has a habit of where it could be raining there. Imagine if it rains on Saturday or Sunday, how they're going to drivers cope with it, also with the new regulation change. It's going to be fascinating. So yeah, it can be it's going to be a very crazy season in terms of the driving, in terms of all teams also, because for sure there will be engine failures for all those kind of teams, because even the teams who've done really well in the testing, when they put a lot of laps in, they had engine failures. I mean, Antonelli had engine failure, power unit issues. Sorry, I should say. Hajar had the hydraulic issue. Oscar faced some issues as well in Barcelona. Lando faced, I think, some issue in Bahrain. All the issues, I mean, every team, even though when they did well, they faced some issues, but that's normal, especially for the new regulation change. That's what testing is about as well. So yeah, but however, one of those teams where I have to say they really, really massively disappointed was Aston Martin. They've been, oh my god, it's a bit shambolic there, if I'm being very honest. I wouldn't want to be in that camp, because they could even not even turn up for Australia. That's how bad they've been. We and Muhammad talked about it. Lots of engine failures. Can't even finish. They can't even finish a race. It's difficult to say. I mean, listen, Adrian Newey is a fantastic designer, and I'm pretty sure he will find a way to turn it around as much as possible. But we all know he has a habit of creating great cars, but also creating fragile cars. We all know why Red Bull, from 2014 to 2020, they went 6 years without winning a trophy, or 7 years, I should say. So, because they had those issues. From the Renault days in 2014-15, when they had those issues. And we all know Honda, even though Honda is a great engine, even though not the same level as Mercedes, they never have a good habit of starting the season or starting this kind of new regulation change really well. Even with Red Bull in 2022, when they won both championships, in the first three races, Red Bull faced three issues in their car, twice for Max and once for Checo Perez. So I think it's going to be a very difficult season, a very good start, a very difficult start to the season for Aston Martin. Without a shadow of a doubt, you see Alonso describing his expressing his frustrations, especially throwing gloves in the after finished in the car. Stroll was also not happy as well, so it's going to be a very difficult start to the season for Aston Martin. For sure, they will improve. For sure, they will improve as the more season goes on, because obviously Formula 1 is a 24 race campaign and 6 sprints, not 13 races and 1 sprint, because that's what sometimes people act with their predictions, etc. But it's a 24 race campaign with 6 sprints. It's a long way to go. That's a long season. For sure, Aston Martin will at some point turn it around. I'm pretty sure of that. Adrian Newey is a fantastic designer, and they've got all the tools behind the place. And yeah, as me and Mohammed, we criticised their, let's say, policy and how they managed things, where they made Adrian Newey the team principal, etc., etc. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure the more season goes on, they will improve. A bit like McLaren 2023, where they had a dreadful start to the season, and the more season went on, they massively improved after that. So I'm pretty sure, when the season goes on, they will improve massively. I'm pretty sure. But obviously, they're facing the issues that they're facing right now is incredible. It's an amazing situation. I mean, with the engine failure, with they can't even finish a race, and it's incredible. So yeah. And you look at teams for, struggling like Aston Martin. You also look at teams like Williams. They've also on the back foot massively. Obviously they didn't even turn up for Barcelona. They had overweight cars for the last 3 times. They were overweight their cars 3 times. The car was not overweight. The car is overweight, and they failed the crash test 3 times, and had a lot of issues. They turned up for Bahrain though, and they're not that bad, but they're not special. So yeah, they're massively on the back foot as well. So yeah, and like I said, Williams have been on the back foot. You look at teams like also new teams like Cadillac. I think they're going to struggle massively. Audi, they're going to have a difficult season as well. You look at teams in the midfield, teams like Alpine. I think they're going to be a very good season. They're going to have a very good season. I think they're going to be the best of the rest. Haas, they've looked very, very strong also in both testings. Ocon pulling a lot of laps. Vicap not bad as well. So yeah, I think if you ask me who's going to be the best of the rest, I think it's going to be Alpine or Haas in my opinion. As speaking at this moment in time, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the season. Things can change very quickly, because obviously it's a 24 race campaign, so it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen over a 24 race campaign. So yeah, and you look at the big four: McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. Mercedes, I think they're obviously the favourites. There's no shame in that. They've got the best engine. They should have the best car. And they should have the drivers to deliver for them. George Russell, there is obviously a lot of expectation in him to win the titles this season. Kimi Antonelli, he's had a good season last season, rookie season, but obviously this season he'll be expected to improve and kick on from his performances last season. So yeah, I think Mercedes should be very, very strong this season, and should, at least for sure, they should. We don't know this yet, but because the season didn't start, but for sure they are expected to fight for a title this season. Whereas the constructors or the drivers, we don't know, but they're expected to fight for a title. I'm pretty sure of that. You've got teams like Ferrari, who they look strong, they look better than last season, but again, it's early days. So they look good. They look good in testing, but again, testing sometimes can make you look stupid at times, and see, oh, these teams look good, but then when you see the actual race, it's the opposite. So yeah, but Ferrari look okay. McLaren, I don't think they're as bad as some people might say. I think they look on it as well. Of course, with all the effort of winning two championships last season, of course they're not going to be the best team in terms of the pace. But I'm pretty sure, you know, the development they have with the experience they have, the Mercedes engine, the experience, the aerodynamic side they have, how quickly and how well they can adapt, as they've shown in, for example, 2024 season, where they didn't have the best start, but they adapted really well after that. I'm pretty sure they'll have they can have a very good, they can show great ability in terms of adapting throughout the whole season, and obviously, because not only, I think this season the teams who win the championships will not only be determined on the pace, but also determined on the development, the side of the car, who can develop the best, who can bring the best upgrades, you know, who can bring the best engine. So that will be mostly determined, because let's not forget, Formula 1 is a 24 race campaign. I say a lot of times, but because people sometimes try to act like it's short. No, it's a lot. It's a long way to go. And if there is a better reminder for that, look at last season with the championship fight between the three drivers. Look at constructors 2024, where Red Bull, I think, was leading the championship for 75-80% of the season, and they even didn't finish in the top two. So it's a long season. But McLaren, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be up there. Ferrari, they're up there as well. Mercedes are gonna be up there. Red Bull, I don't know. I mean, they don't look on the pace as, let's say, Mercedes and as Ferrari, and as McLaren, I would say as well. But again, you know, last season Red Bull didn't have a good start to the season, and then in the second half season, where obviously Laurent Marquez came in and they sacked Horner, they improved massively in the second half of the season, and Verstappen was in an amazing winning run of form, and Verstappen was just 2 points away from winning that title. So again, you know, Red Bull might not look the best team right now, but again, they can. I'm pretty sure they can turn it around very quickly. So they're going to be up there, I'm pretty sure of that. So I'm pretty sure those four teams are going to be up there: Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull. How many teams can fight for the constructors? I think Mercedes is going to fight for the constructors. I think they can. I think McLaren can do it. Maybe Ferrari, maybe. I don't think Red Bull, because I think obviously with the second driver's seat. But I think those three teams, Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, have good capabilities and great capacity to fight for the constructors championship. The drivers championship, I mean, I've seen people say George Russell should win the title. I mean, that's I mean, the season didn't even start, and the new regulation change didn't even, and it's a new regulation change as well. So you cannot say, oh, this guy should win the title when the season didn't even start. But I think the drivers who should fight for the title, or could and can fight for the title, I should say. I think George Russell can fight for the title. I think Max can fight for the title. I think Lando could fight for the title. I think Oscar can fight for the title. Charles Leclerc can fight for the title if Ferrari do well this season. Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton. Will he have a redemption of his season? Who knows? Let's see what happens. So I think those 6-7 drivers. I know 6. I know, but I know. I think those 6-7 drivers can have a chance to fight for the title. I know people look at me and say, "Oh, you sound ridiculous. How can it be 6-7 drivers fighting for the title?" But I said they have a chance. Doesn't mean that all of them is going to fight for the title. I'm saying those 6-7 drivers can fight for the title, because you never know which team is going to flop, is going to have a decline, and which team is going to do massively. You never know, because, like I said, Formula was a 24 race campaign. It's very difficult to say. So yeah, I think those 6-7 drivers who can fight for the drivers' championship. Who's the favorite? To me, there is no favorite for the title. I don't include who's the favorite for the title, because it's a new regulation change. It's a completely, not only drivers have to adapt to the new regulation change cars, the teams have to adapt to it. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to, in my opinion, to put a favorite who's going to win the title. It's very difficult, because not only your team has to have a good car, your driver has to adapt to what the new regulation change. So, like Lewis Hamilton was fantastic and always adapted the regulation changes, except the last one. So, that's my opinion. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fantastic of a season of Formula 1, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.